Hi, and welcome back to Logic Basics. Today we're going to be talking about reason. And this handout I've provided will define reason in three ways. So if you look at the top here, we'll see that reason can be defined in itself, in its use, and in us. So today we're just going to talk about reason in itself. This is the primary way to define reason. When someone says, "What is reason?" we should say reason is the laws of thought. Notice there are laws for thinking. Logic will build upon these laws. So let's look at the laws. These laws are defined in these ways. The law of identity says that A is A. A thing is what it is. For example, rock is rock, human is human, dog is dog. A thing is what it is, as my mom would say. All right, so that's the law of identity. That's the bedrock. That's the beginning point of logic and all thought. Next, we'll look at the law of non-contradiction. This law says that something cannot be both A and non-A in the same respect and at the same time. It can't be both a dog and a non-dog, a human and a non-human. So we'll have to talk about this law in a little more depth, but notice I added in the same respect and at the same time. We'll talk about some of the possible objections to these laws and explain that a little bit more. And then the third law is the law of excluded middle. This one says that something is either A or it is non-A. Now, where do we get these laws? These laws are laws of thinking, so as long as there have been thinking beings, the laws have been an aspect of that reality. Aristotle is the philosopher who wrote these laws down. He discovered the laws, we'll say, as he was thinking critically about what we do when we think. He is also the one who wrote the first logic text. Now, these laws are very important for us because they are going to be the foundation for the rest of critical thinking. And all thinking and all being in fact. So these are the laws of thinking and the laws of being. So when we say rock is rock, we're talking about something that actually exists. So the laws apply to existing things. Now sometimes students want to get around these laws, and there have been philosophers in the history of philosophy that have tried to get around these laws. So let's think about that. Now, in my experience of teaching, I haven't really seen students who want to get around the law of identity. That's a really tough one, but I'm sure you can come up with a way to try. The second one, the law of non-contradiction, I have seen students try to give objections to that one. They say things like this. Dr. Burton, a caterpillar is a butterfly. A is non-A. So that's why we added in the same respect and at the same time, so we can take into consideration the processes, like a process of change from a caterpillar to a butterfly. It is what it is at any moment in that process. So it's not both a caterpillar and a butterfly at the same time. Okay, so that's not a really good objection to the law of non-contradiction. But I encourage you to think about it, and maybe there are other objections. I haven't seen a good one yet, though, I'll tell you. All right, the law of excluded middle says that something is either A or it is non-A. Now, the main objection I've heard to this law is that this is binary thinking, that things aren't such black or white issues, Dr. Burton. There are always shades of gray, right? Okay, so let's think about that. Is this saying either black or white? What is A? A stands for some word or concept, right? So let's put in black. Either black or non-black. And non-black can be anything, everything except for black. So it's not saying either black or white, it's saying either black or non-black. Now, let's talk about binary thinking because this is a concern. Binary thinking are either or statements where both sides can be false. Now, as we go along, we'll find out those are contraries. Contraries may both be false. Contraries say all or none. Like, all is black or none is black. Well, maybe there are shades of gray, but this is not saying the same thing as all or none. This is saying A or non-A. All right, so that's the laws of thought and the possible objections to the laws of thought. And the next video, we'll talk about how to apply these laws. How do we use them? How do we misuse them? Why do we need to learn how to think right? It's because we could make mistakes in the use of these laws and the application of these laws. And then we'll talk about how reason is an aspect of human nature, how it's natural in us. All right, so look forward to those videos.